All right, this is Mounce chapter 17. We're going to be dealing with contract verbs here. Contract verbs are verbs that have stems that end with an alpha, epsilon, or omicron. You will be able to see that show up in the lexical form as you look at the vocabulary. And so you'll see that that extra vowel before the ending. Now, what happens is when the vowel, the alpha, epsilon, or omicron, comes in contact with the vowel in the ending or the connecting vowel, then these vowels are going to contract, and there are some rules for that, and you will learn that in this chapter. So that's what you want to take very careful notice of as you deal with these. They're really are easy to recognize. They're easy to remember as contract verbs because those vowels in the stems or at the end of the stem is so obvious. Mounce approaches the learning of contract verbs from the perspective of learning how the vowels contract. And you will want to see that because, as I say, it does generally follow some rules, but it may be easier for you to learn the result of the contracting when you see the contracting going on or see that it has gone on. So what I would encourage you to do is look, for instance, find a contract chart. We'll try to have one in the contents section of Blackboard for you, and also a Greek verb paradigm chart that will help you some, and also Mounce will give you some help. But what you want to do is add these tools to your notebook so that you'll be ready to deal with them, and of course you can use those in your study as well. So you want to read chapter 17 carefully, notice the exegetical insight, and read the introduction where he gives you the definitions, and then he will show you how that, show you the rules on contraction in section 17.5, so you want to pay very close attention to that. So again, read this very carefully, and then look at the rules that he gives you in that section, 17.5. The halftime review is a good opportunity for you to look again at contracting, the principles of contracting. What I would do is copy that and put it in your notebook, because he deals with the first 5 of those rules, and he points out that they're the most important. That is, omicron upsilon is formed from epsilon, omicron, omicron epsilon, and omicron omicron. And then epsilon iota is formed from epsilon epsilon, and omega is formed from almost any combination of omicron or omega with any other vowel except what you see in rule 1. And then alpha is formed from the alpha plus the epsilon, and eta is formed from the epsilon plus the alpha. So you will want to look closely at those. And as I say, keep those. Simplest thing to do is keep that in your notebook, and then you can use that as you go along. He gives you a paradigm at 17.6, and you will want to review that, be familiar with it, and how the endings come together. Note the circumflex accent. That's the thing that will be a clue for you in reading, whether you're in the biblical text or in the translation. You see a circumflex over that ending vowel, that resulting ending, contracted ending, and that will be a clue to you that it is a contract verb. So what you want to do is look at that paradigm and review that paradigm, noting circumflex. And then in 17:8, he gives you some hints that are important, as all of his hints are. So remember the rules for the connecting vowel, and then he explains some things in it. And then he shows you something in the appendix at 343 and 44. And I want to flip to that so you can, so I can remind you of that. 333 and 34. It's a good bit of information on contracts, starting at the bottom of 343, contraction of single vowels, and then the contraction of vowels and diphthongs on the next page. What I would do again is copy that and put it in the notebook, and that will be a good bit of help to you as you work through these. Remember that you can use these on your tests as well. So just keep that handy, if you will. So what do you need to learn on contract verbs in chapter 17? You need to learn the vocabulary. You need to do exercise 17 in the workbook and parse sentences 1 through 10. Then, parse the parsing 1 through 10, and then translate sentences 1 through 7. And then, of course, review your vocabulary for the weekly quiz. We'll give you a review for that at the chapter 20, in the chapter 20 video, as you see that a little bit later. All right, let's pronounce the vocabulary very quickly. It starts with agapao. You'll recognize that as a contract verb because of the vowel there. And then damanian, then zeteo, kaleo, laleo, oida, ahatan, plion, plerao, poieo, and tereo. All right, thank you very much. We'll see you in the next video.